another webinar of IBsolution. My name is Anja Boye and I'm your host for today. But before we start, just a quick technical hint. You are all mute during the whole webinar, but you can type in your questions into the chat box at any time. And at the end of our webinar, we will have a Q&A session. So what's our topic today? Today, we talk about the best approach to integrate product lifecycle management with SAP Master Data Governance for materials. And today, I've brought my colleague, Vikram Kushwa, with me. He is an expert in the field of Master Data Governance. Vikram, what's on your agenda for today?
Yeah, hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome once again for today's webinar session. Today, we are going to discuss about, as Anya explained, this PLM and MDG integrations. So in the agenda, first, I would like to give a brief overview about the PLM and the MDG systems. This might help a couple of audience that if they are new in the PLM but they know about the MDG, or it may be if they are working in the PLM system and they are going to use the MDG to handle the master data. So it will help them. So just a quick overview about both the systems. In the agenda, next topic is why the PLM and the MDG integration is needed. So it will just give a brief, actually, the idea along with both the system and what the benefit we are going to get once we have a PLM and MDG integration during the product life cycle. And then we'll talk about the possible use case scenarios that we have captured. It's not all the possible scenarios, because scenarios are depend on the organizations to different and based on the material that how they are handling in their organizations. But we have gathered a couple of scenarios which we can say it's mostly used or common, but we will talk about that. And then we'll see the best approach based on the use cases, and then we can decide based on the different organizations and the companies which the case can be utilized in which case. And at the end, the summary, and if there is any questions from your side, then yes, we will have to reply that. Okay, so first, that just brief overview about it's very high level about overview of the PLM. What is PLM actually? So the PLM is a kind of life cycle. The product consists of several different phases. If we talk about a product, it start with development and extend to the construction, prototyping, production, marketing, sales, and after sales service right through the recycling. This is the life cycle of the product. Generally is the start and the end. Product related information is generated in all of these phases that we can see in the screen as well. PLM aims to bring the informations together, to integrate it seamlessly, and to manage it. So that's actually the main work of the PLM. Another way, the PLM support companies in the planning, construction, and management of the production with more transparency and the control. PLMs enables also the efficient tracking, I can say the control and the management of all product related informations over the entire life cycle of the product. Or the another word is we can say that the PLM allows customer to manage their product data along the entire product life cycle, from idea through portfolio management, engineering, release process, and costing, to hand over to the manufacturing and the services. As you are seeing in this screen, that it starts basically from the marketing. So the market team will do the research and the analysis of maybe the existing product, or it might be a new product. Based on their research analysis, then they will go for the product planning. They will start, maybe it's a new product is needed in the market, or in existing product if we might need to make some changes. So after the planning, then they have a product process of the development. It's like a prototype. First, designing of the prototyping. It might be the new product. Yes, again, size changes. So prototyping first, if it is successful or not, and how it's the prototype result will be there. Based on that, then we have a production preparation. Once the production will start, so then we have a lot of things, and the PLM generally in control with the BOM. It will come in the further slides. So after the productions, then we go to the manufacturing, the assembly. Assembly, it's a word it says the product that the company is going to produce it. It might be not a single, then the finished product will come after assembling or the combining of 4 semi-finished products. So it will come in assembly and then it will make a finished product. A best example is we can say the car. Once we assemble, the car is a finished product, but before that we are assembling with the small components, and then we are getting a car. After we have assembling or the manufacturing, then we'll go for the sales and the shipping. After the sales and the shipping, obviously, so once we have delivered to the customers, then we have a service and the maintenance of the product. And at the end, as I say, so as a final product at the end, it's maybe the dismantling or the recycling of the product. And then again, it's a start with one. So it's the complete the life cycle of the product, then how it started, then the planning, production, sales, and at the end, it's gone. And at the recycling or the dismantling, we need to say in the company's terminology, the phase out. Of the phase in and the phase out, we have two things. So this is, we can say the PLM system help us to design a product from marketing to the recycling. So we can design our product from beginning to end. So this is very quick about the PLM. Now we'll go to the MDG part. So MDG actually is a SAP Master Data Governance, is a master data management solution. It's provided out of the box domain specific master data governance to centrally create, change, and distribute, or to consolidate master data across your entire system landscape. If you will say, what is the governance process? The governance process, the easy terms, we can say that who is going to start the process, why this process is needed, who has approved this process, and when we have done this process. Process, we said the creation of material, why it's needed, who has approved it, when it's required, what changes has been done. To record this all the things or to control this all the things, we say it's a governance process. The key feature, if you talk about the MDG, if you have an MDG system, then you will get a single trusted view of your data. Another way, this automatic approval workflow for master data creation and the change request that we'll again to talk about here, one of the point. And then we have a central creation of the maintenance of master data across SAP and the non-SAP system. In the big organizations, we might have this a big landscape of the system with the SAP and the non-SAP system. So MDG will help here. It enforces the compliance to incorporate the data standards. MDG creation, the creation of an audit trail for the master data changes. It helps in audit purpose, how, let's say, and improvement of the data quality by using the MDG. This we can say these are the main key features of the MDG. But we'll see in the screen what MDG gives us as out of the box. It's a master data governance solution. We have a workflow. The workflow is given by the tools itself, and we can design this. Either it may be a linear workflow, linear in the sense we can say sequential, it's go by step, or it may be a distributed or a parallel workflow. It support both. We have a possibilities to add over the business rules to have the data quality check that we are going to use at the material creation or the change process design ways. Second, next things we have in the process, either it's a create, change, or whatever, we have a specific roles and the responsibility which we will assign to work on this task at the organizational level. So it means that not everyone has authorization to start the process or to request the change or the create process. Not, we would not want to assign everyone that they can approve the request or the changes. So in the organizations, we can specific given the responsibility in the MDG itself. The next, we will get storage process. So storage is like when the change process is started. The difference if we have working in the normal SAP system, so you can see, so any changes or any creation is started in a SAP system, it will be directly available or immediately in the ERP or the technical the tables, so users can work. It's correct or not, that's a second things. In this case, it's leading a data inconsistency in our the existing system. How MDG works here, when we have started any creations or the change process, it will not directly go in the database table. It is having itself area, it's called a staging. Once we will approve everything, all the departments are agreed with the data, then it will transfer to the operational database systems, so that we will not have the inconsistency data. And this is again based on, it will follow all the business logics, it will pass through, then only it will activate the data. The next, it out of the box solution is provided, it can be adapted based on the customer needs. The data model or the things it has given based on the customer, because all the organizations, they have their own specific data to manage or to link with the material. So we have a flexibility in the MDG that we can do. And the next things, if we'll talk about the distribution, in case if we have MDG as a hub system, then it's easily manageable to distribute the data from MDG to either it's a non-SAP systems or it's SAP system across company to the different business unit. It's easily done. Apart from this, we talk, if we will say like MDG helps the business, especially in the audit trail, if we have one of the key features and to track the things that how it is going. So we have it's called MDG Worklist. In that worklist, the users can see that how many change requests I have created. Change requests, the terms will use in MDG that any process that you are going to start, either it's creation or the change, anything that is linked with the change request, that I'm starting a request either to create or the change the existing data, so it's recorded as a link with the change request. What's useful that we can track that how many requests I have started, it's either create or the change or any other processes, how many change requests we can track in the list that it's running or it's finally approved, or during or because of some other reason it's maybe the rejected. We can see I have a complete overview. We can check the other person change request as well, that if someone has requested or some specific reason, then we can check the complete the overview. We can get idea. And if we would like to see that material, how many times it has been changed or who has started, then we can see the change document of that material, that it has blocked in the 5 change requests. It means it has 5 times the change has been requested, and who requested and who has approved and what kind of data has been changed. So it also has the complete history of the recording in the MDG. So it will help us to find out that who has started, who has approved, and when it has been approved. If someone is rejecting, then what is the reason behind this, to track the complete. In ERP, if you have see that there is we do not have a workflow. Yes, we can build it, but there is a no out of the box. So whenever you will make the changes, it will be there. Yes, we can see the change log of the displays, but it will not be approved by anyone else, or it will not be reviewed by anyone else. It's immediately activated. Okay, so just we have quickly see the PLM and the MDG, how the works of both the systems. And now, why we need to integrate the PLM and the MDG system together? What's the need of it? So actually, the SAP Master Data Governance MDG supports the creation and the modification of the master data within SAP ERP. Yeah. And due to the integration of SAP MDG with product lifecycle processes, the process efficiency will improve. It complete integration between PLM and ERP is ensured, and the data quality will be increased. For the customer who are looking for a complete solution in the product space, both solutions are needed. SAP PLM organize step by step the process of managing product data. MDG provides detailed governance, control, and the data quality over the creation and update of material master data used in transaction, analytical, and the reporting system. A joint position of these products in a customer landscape will provide complementary benefit to our customer and a complete product data management solution. The process scenario might be having like creation of the new material, change of the existing, and the status. So this scenario will see. So why we need it? We have see, if you will see the current slide. So this is, I would say, the traditional way. So how we have a PLM system, we have a PLM users, and the PLM will also, we have a material information. If we'll talk about now, I'll say here the BOM. So we have a more clear pictures. What is a BOM? It's called bill of material. When we start a construction or produce as a product, then we will make a list to make a one finished product, how many sub-component I needed and in which or the number of quantity. So that is called a bill of material. So it's a complete list to construct. PLM actually a product lifecycle management system. It will have the bill of material because it's starting a new product. So first it will track how many material or sub-component I needed to make this a product. I'm mostly talking about the finish, but it might be a semi-finish or the finish, but to make a product that he is going to sell in the market, or he can just deliver to the market or to the customer. So when we talk about the bill of material, definitely there is a document linked with this. It's kind of design. So the PLM mostly link in the traditional way, it's the CAD system, it's the AutoCAD. So there we can have a 3D design of the product that we are going to do it, and the CAD generally will show you the list of the material. Okay, so these 100 or 10 or 20 materials you need to build this product along with the quantity. So in the PLM system, when we start the life cycle of the product, obviously we have a material some informations available here along with the document system. So we have a document management system available, and it will store the contents in the DMS. Once we have a PLM, user will do some activity. It will start basic information with the materials, and then all the informations will transfer to the normal ERP. Here you can say there is no MDG. And again, by using in the ERP system, it's SAP, then the material will be extended to the finance, sales, MRP, or rest of the views with the controlling accounting information. And obviously, so we have a document available as well in the ERP, and it will also store in the DMS by the document management system. In this case, it might be that PLM user may be different or maybe the same, but in generally case, both users are the different. So once this information will be transferred, material and bill of material in the document, then we have a specific user in the ERP system. They will handle this rest of the information. PLM will not contain all the information. That's the reason we have a ERP. And to do some transactional data activity on the material, we will use the ERP system. That's how. So that's the reason we will extend the rest of the views in ERP system. And this is now the traditional way. Okay. Now if we'll talk about the PLM with MDG, how it will link and where. So in the PLM activity, the engineering will start create engineering record. It's called a change number. And then he will assign an object, either to create or the change, will say the part or the product here. And then if we will say we do not have MDG, then it will go without MDG. Then in the PLM, it may be start the changes or the creation without governance, as you see here, and it will complete all the activities, and then we will close the engineering change number. So changes or the creations are done. In the PLM, if we have a MDG system integrated with PLM, then this activity will come down. So once we started a product in the PLM system, then the process to have a material that will come to the MDG. And then this part, as you can see, this will directly come to the MDG. In MDG, then we'll create a material here. Either it's using the workflow, creation or change of the material. Then it will go as we have a workflow in MDG. So some roles and authorization, a team will be there to review the change request. Then we have a engineering or some other teams to complete the material data, the missing informations, they will add it here. And at the end, the master data experts will be there, the team, then they will completely review the material and they will approve it. Once they will approve, then the information will flow back to the PLM and the PLM activity will continue. In this place, you can see there was no governance process. So the data which is maintained in the PLM, so no one is there to review, and the data they have done, it's kind of final. And then after that, the engineering change will be closed. But here we have because of the workflow, because of the business rule implemented, due to the data quality check, we have the governance process built in the MDG, and it will verify in each steps the information is correct and it's fulfilling the business rules or not. Then it will be transferred to the PLM or maybe in the ERP system. Then there is no data inconsistency available in the ERP or in the PLM system. So this is how the major part that, okay, we are going to link this PLM and the MDG in this place. Okay, now we'll talk about the scenario that we have captured it here. Yes. So at the first part, you can see the PLM, and below is the MDG that's there. In the PLM system, they'll start the engineering record. number, its engineering record is like to creating a new product or starting a new product like cycle things. Then they are going to define a new scope or the material or the product. Now, either they will start a process from here and it will trigger a workflow in MDG. The linkage, it's like this. Then change request will start in MDG, and now here. Either just in this place, we will just create a material with very basic information that it's needed to be available in the ERP, because there are some couple of fields in SAP. These are the must fields that has to be there. It's very basic data. Either just we can create a change request and we can see, okay, we can activate here itself and we can provide the material number back to the PLM, and the PLM can follow their processes without any interruptions. And in the MDG, the further process will continue to enhance the data, to maintain it, further to validate, and to release for the users. And the PLM will continue by getting this material informations. The PLM process will again further, they will also maintain some different data. They will start their processes to, especially to have the bill of material like recording and the BOM. And once they will complete it, then the further activity will be provided to the productions. Because once they will have a complete bill of material, informations that how many sub-component is going to use to build this finished product, then at the end, they will send to the production to start the production. Now here, so this is the one scenario. So how we can link this to the MDG? So either we can start a workflow to get a basic material available, and just we can provide the material number back. So the PLM and MDG both can work here. Second, if we will say exactly the same, but the difference is here that MDG we are using as a material number generation without triggering the workflow. At the time of, so it's the same, create the engineering record. Then next we have a defined new scope of the material as a product, we can say. In this place, we will have an interface to the MDG. It may be by the OData services or the technical part, maybe anything. Then we will have a material, a number generate in the MDG and just to provide it to the PLM system. Then PLM will use this material number, it will follow it. But again, by using the same material number, then the workflow will trigger into the MDG. Then we have a creation of the change request with the material number, which already provided by the MDG to the PLM. And then similar way, we have a maintain the data, validate the data, and the release for the usage. What is the purpose of here? It might help to generate the unique material number across the system landscape in our organization. It might be possible that we have multiple PLM systems. It might be possible that we have a non-SAP or some other SAP system. And in each system, we are generating the material number. If we have a distributed landscape in our organization, then what happens is each system is having their own material number, own number range, and then once we will generate the report in a BI system, then BI system, we have to design that in which system, which material number is available, and according to this material number or the reference is this, in another system also we have a material number. Then we have to map it. In case if we have a centralized system, then it will help us to have one number. So MDG as a number generation, we can use also system. So we are going to trigger a creation process in, even though it's local system or in the MDG, we can also use this as a generate the number, provide the number back, and that number will be used. And when that number will also provide it back to the MDG to enhance the data and to use the workflow. So in across system, we have a single number, material number, that different system is maintaining different data. It might be possible that one local system is only handling basically the finance related activity. One system is handling the logistic related activity, but the material number will remain same. So we can avoid the unnecessary, the mapping things by using this generation. So the PLM also can be used in this way that we can generate the number, provide the number back to the PLM, and the PLM will use the same thing. By using the same number, we can start the workflow in the MDG. Yeah. The next one, we have material in a status, how it is going to be handled during the PLM and MDG integration. Material actually contains a lot of information that is going to be used in the product lifecycle management in the different phases. So if we will consider the first phase itself. Okay, so after defining the new product or the scope, we are going to trigger the workflow in MDG. Okay, we have a material number generated, or we can say the continue, fine. But at the time of we have a change request, in the material in the MDG, we will assign a status as a 10. What is this status? This status define that this material, how much the easy way it's ready, or in which all the processes it can be used. So that text can be different in each organization, in each company. So 10 we can say is a draft. So it's a material product, just it's started. It is in a draft mode. We have started a change process. Why it is in draft mode? Because it's not completed, because the PLM cycle is not completed. Then altogether PLM will parallel, it will work in the bill of material and the designing and everything. And simultaneously in MDG, we will maintain the remaining informations, plant related data, material requirement planning related data, storage related information. Once it is going further, so if we have maintained the data and it's activated, we say in design. We will change the status in design. Once this material is available, then we say, oh, it's everything is fine. And once the bill of material is done or routing is available, we will say the routing data is maintained. We will change the status as a 30. It means it's also say the design frozen. Design frozen means before, if I'm in a design process, this material cannot be used for some other transactional activity. As a rough example, we can say the material is available in the table, but I cannot start a sales order or belong to this or some other activity because these are still in the design. It is not yet completely done. When we have a BOM available, then we can say, okay, design is frozen because now I know how many sub-component is required to complete this material. Then I will change the status as a design frozen. Once it is design frozen, then only I can do the costing. The costing is needed to have a final price of the product. That how, and we can say only until unless we have a bill of material available. This is general way. The bill of materials, so how many component, then we say if we have a 10 component users to build this final product, then what is the price of the sub component, then we can add, and what's the quantity, and based on that we can decide what is the complete price, the final price of my product. So the costing can be done, for example, after routing, because now we have a design frozen, and after that we have a costing. Once the costing is done, we can set the status 60. It means it's in use. We can use it for the sale purpose, for production purpose, or for some other any other transactional activity. So this is linked with this. Until we do not have the bill of material ready or this information is not sent to the MDG, we also not change the complete status. So these the status are dependent during the PLM and the MDG activity if you have integration. Yeah. The next part that again about the integrations and that instead of creating or triggering the workflow in MDG, in some companies it happens that PLM user also sometimes react as a MDG users. They says that we are the leading systems and now we would like to start the product life cycle in the PLM system, but yes, but we will also start the process in the PLM. So there might be a different scenario for that either they can have a login in the systems or they can have access of the system. That's one. But here we are showing that at the time of defining the material scope, then we will launch the MDG from the PLM. And the MDG will pop up as a creation process, as a starting process. PLM, the users knows what information he needs to fill because he is the kind of leading systems and he knows what information I need to fill it while the material processing. He will provide the informations and he can start the change request. And automatically from here, the workflow will start in the MDG and the material will be, the further process will be either activated or the change process will start for the maintain and the validate and the reuse. As this MDG is basically based on the FPM and the WebDin Pro, as a floor plan manager, then it's just in a URL that can be triggered from PLM. In the CAD system, SAP is already provided the solution by the SAP as a solution. So in the CAD system, they have integrated this. So PLM, it can also be linked. And then while submitting, the PLM user can fill the data and they know that what process they have started. And once they will start it, they will get the material number directly available here because if it is have a first phase activated, then they will use the same material and they will start the further processing in the PLM system. Apart from this, it might be possible that PLM, instead of triggering the workflow, instead of launching the URL, they can implement something to integrate the MDG or to inform the MDG users that we would like to start a process. So please create a change request in MDG. That also by the email. Email will trigger from here to the MDG users as a requester based on the roles and authorizations. And the MDG people can start a change request and they can provide the information back to the PL. This is also a rare case or solutions that can be implemented due to the PLM and MDG, the integration things. Now the integration both system is also a little depend on the how we are going to we have deployed the MDG. Here the first the how you can say MDG deploy as in the co-deploy in a SAP system, and the second MDG as a hub system. If we will talk about the MDG as a co-deploy, so once the bill of material is ready in the PLM system, document is ready, it will be directly sent to the SAP system. But the material information generally for the creation or what we talk about just before, creation request will go to the MDG. Bill of material information is always depend on the material information. Until unless material information is not available in the system, bill of material cannot be sent. So if we have a co-deploy, we can say the material request is available here. We can say the bill of material because MDG is a co-deploy and it is using the same active area. It's perfectly fine. But in case if we are using MDG as a hub system, then once we have a material available here, then the change request or the creation will be sent to the MDG. Once the MDG will complete the processes, validate, maintain, approve everything, then the MDG will send the information to the SAP. Till the time the material information is not available to the SAP, the bill of material cannot be sent, because bill of material is depend on the material information. If it is not there, then he has to wait. That's how first we will create a material number. That's how both the system can work independently. So in MDG, we have a material number, but material is just the material and the minimum information is available in the SAP. Then the further enhancement or the material information enrichment can be done in the MDG, and the parallel PLM can continue work here and he can also send it. So as I say, with the document information, material and BOM can be sent from PLM to SAP. And once the material enrich or the further enhancements done, it will be forward to the SAP system. So this is how we have a co-deploy in the MDG hub system. This is we have a little dependency. If we talk about, so this is all we have talked till now, the SAP PLM system. Currently, there are some other tools available or the applications. These are also used as a PLM system. And mostly we have seen this ECTR is used also as a PLM and the team center. Generally, ECTR stand for the Engineering Control Center. And this is a link, or maybe it's also integrated with the CAD. As I say, it's a design, 3D design system. ECTR will get the information from the CAD or there, and then it will have data for the product related informations. And then ECTR will, using the ECTR connector or ECTR services, it will send the information to the ERP system. And ERP system, due to the document management, it's also linked with the document to save the document, because the CAD and ECTR will, the product lifecycle management system works mostly with the documentation, the design document we say. So ECTR, it's connected by the ECTR connector services, or more we can choose by the RFCs, or there might be some web services can also be used. As similar in the team center, we have a system. It's use the team center gateway, or we can say by using this. So it's used the T4S4. It's called team center gateway for the S4 HANA. It uses to connect the HANA and ERP system to provide the data. Team Center can be used by the RFC and the web services to provide the data. Because for the integration of these two, this is also, as I say, the PLM is also used as a PLM systems, and while the integrations with the PLM and MDG. So here I say it might be the MDG or the S4 HANA system, and this place can be MDG system. At the moment, the solution provided by the SAP in the ECTR, it's directly created the material in SAP. So hence, that's how we have discussed the scenario, that how we can integrate it with the MDG and how the change request can be started. So if we'll say the scenario that whatever we discuss, if we say what is the best, as I say, it's again depend on the organizations and how they are working. But to say the overall, the best approach is to have a trigger the workflow in MDG once before starting the PLM process. Then we have a change request available here, and here we can use any technology. The PLM generally prefer material as an IDOC, and then based using the IDOC, we can start a workflow in the change request in the MDG. Then we can either provide it back the material number, or completely after the maintaining validate, once the change request is completely done, we have a data available, then we can also provide back the information to the PLM, and the PLM can continue this information. This will fulfill most of the use cases in the scenario. If they have some other cases as well, but mostly requirement will be fulfilled. There might be some slight, some other, based on the organizations, there might be some requirement other, but it will mostly fit with most of the business cases. In couple of words here, some PLM sometimes use the different material type. And in MDG, it can be similar and it can be different. When the information is coming from the PLM, it might be required that we need to change the material type in the MDG before further processing, because it might be useful that that material type we are using only for the design processes. But once we have an actual final product, we are going to inform send to the PLM or the MDG, it should having a proper material type. This is also one of the scenario that it can be changed. So while triggering the workflow, it's kind of for us as a free, a flexible space that we can work here, and we can accordingly the business cases or requirement we can adapt. Yes, that it's from my side for all the business use case the scenario we have discussed.
Yeah, thank you, Vikram, for your presentation. Before you continue with the summary, dear participants, if you have any questions, please type them into the chat box, and after the summary, we will start our Q&A session. Vikram, your part again, please.
Okay, so yes. So as a summary, just quickly, so what we have till now discussed about some idea of the PLM and the MDG overview. Then we have working together how the PLM and MDG systems can work, can be linked together, and the best approaches. So the scenario we have discussed it again, so might be suitable for you like URL or like IDOC or maybe the emails, or it might be as a number generations, it can be fit. Or it can be that we can combine the two scenarios and we can build one. It's completely depend on the companies to companies and the behavior or the work, how they do it. And then based on the best approaches and knowledge, we define, okay, this might be the suitable, the scenario that can be fit in all the organizations. Yeah. So if you have any questions, maybe you can ping us and can try to answer that.
Yes, Vikram, we already have some questions. So the first one is, how change number work during MDG and PLM integration?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, actually, I talked about this change number in one of our slides. When the PLM system start the product life cycle, it always link with one of the change engineering number. So like in MDG, we have a change request number. So it follow the changes or the creation process is linked with one number. In the same way, in the PLM also we used, it's called change engineering number or the change number. Any changes is done in the product is recorded in the change number. So we have a validity also, what changes we are doing. This changes is applied from maybe next month or the next year. It might be possible. Example, maybe we are going to design one product, and in that product we have a kind of a screen size or maybe some component size. Maybe we are going to change this product, maybe the size we are going to change, maybe for example a screen from 10 to 15 or 20 inches. So now we are going to change one component in a bill of material list. So these changes will be recorded in one of the change number, so we can track what changes has been done in this product, what component has been changed, and since when. In the similar way, same change number can be used in MDG as well. When we start a creation or the change of the existing material, we can also give the same change number. Again, it's different from the MDG change request number. MDG change request number, it's only to track the workflow, but this change request link with the changes of the existing product, which is going to do in the PLM system. So if we again want to track that I have done some changes in the product in the PLM, I have used the change number. Same change number can be used in the MDG while changing the material. It can be linked and it can be worked. So the change number which is created in the PLM will be transferred to the MDG. In the same change number, while changing the data in MDG will be assigned and it will also be tracked.
Okay, Vikram. And we have another question. It's really long. I will read it out loud. I hope you can answer it and can follow. So there are several dependent objects like routings, packaging, instructions, and so on that are not focused of MDG-M, but need the informations of the material master. So for example, the make or buy decision on MRP view will control if you need a routing or a purchasing info record. So the routing or info record is not part of MDG. How do you handle this dependent objects?
Yeah, actually, as I say, this MDG mainly handling the master data. So the routing or the bill of material, it's SAP does not consider as a master data. So that's how it left as in a ERP. If we have a dependency, so for example, so at the time when we are creating a material, we can assign the MRP data. It's material requirement planning that's also will be used in the routing, but the routing has been done in the ERP after the MDG activity is done. Yes, if we say the complete product life cycle, then it's start, as I say, from the design to till the end, when we have a routing, when we have a BOM, and is everything is available. Solution can be linked with MDG. MDG does not handle it, so we have a two approach, I would say. Either we can build this process also in MDG as a custom model, so the routing process can also be handled in the MDG itself. And once we have an approval process and everything, then the data will be subject to the ERP. Another approach is after the material creations, we can link this routing, we can extend the workflow, even though no activity will be done in MDG, but the workflow can be controlled, this routing data has been maintained or not. Until unless this complete workflow is not finished, we will say MDG or the workflow or the creation process is not yet completely done because routing is missing or the info record is missing. We can link, we can track during the MDG complete process. But the data obviously either can be maintained in the ERP or this data can also be linked by there's a custom implementation of the requirement in the MDG. But as of now, this is of course not provided by the SAP because it says it's not a part of actual master data. It's half master, half transactional activity. So only the creation part, basic informations, first the master data available, because as I say, routing, bill of material and everything is depend on the material information. So once the material is available, then we can follow this. But yes, as I say, both the solution can be done to track in the MDG.
Okay, Vikram, thank you very much. So I can see we have no further questions. Just let me finish up this webinar. Tomorrow, the recordings and the slides will be online on our website. And could you switch to another slide, please? I would like to introduce the new webinar. Yes, thank you very much. So the next webinar will be on the 13th of April with the topic Neuerungen aus SAP Master Data Governance auf S/4HANA 2020. Would be great if you could join us with this webinar. So thank you, Vikram, for your time and for your interesting webinar. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.